Hi everybody, welcome back. Day 3 of the Franchise Buyers course. I hope you're enjoying the content we've been providing, delivered straight to your inbox over the last couple days here. If for some reason you missed any of our last episodes, definitely reach out to me. It's Brandon Clifford again, Senior Franchise Consultant at Global Franchise Solutions. My number is 978-891-7145. You can call me, text me, email me at brandonglobalfranchisesolutions.com, whatever's easiest for you. And so over the last couple of days, we've been delivering content straight to your inbox to help you with the franchise buying process. On the first day, we covered why franchising. Talked about the power, of a franchise system, how it impacts the local and the global economy. Day 2, we talked about what exactly is a franchise, basic elements of a franchise system, entry points into a franchise system, and why it makes sense to go with a franchise over an independent business or starting a company on your own. And today we're going to dive a little bit, take a step back into time and talk about the history of franchising. Franchise 101, we're going to discuss franchising in yesterday, franchising today, and franchise tomorrow. So without further ado, let's get started. So there's a lot of argument, I guess you could say, over what the first franchise was. Some people attribute it to the Singer Company, back in the 1800s with the manufacturer Isaac Merritt Singer, who founded the I.M. Singer Company in 1851. But really, at no time in their history did the Singer Manufacturing Company ever sell a franchise. Other people, including the International Franchise Association, attribute franchising to Martha Matilda Harper. They had a system called the Harper Method Shop franchise system, and that was definitely a franchise, and they sold lots of them. But actually, franchising came quite some time before that. It dates back to our founding fathers, and the first franchisor in our country was actually Benjamin Franklin. And now, Benjamin Franklin, in September 3rd, 1731, sold his first franchise. He sold it to Thomas Whitmarsh, and was for a license to operate a print shop in South Carolina. And so while technically, franchising could even be traced back much further than that, this is about the oldest that I could find. And Benjamin Franklin, kind of had these co-partnerships going on throughout the country. Co-partnership agreement would allow a business to have the turns to operate printing, disposing of the works of his great works, as opposed just like the Farmer's Almanac, like we see it today. And it was a distribution method. So it was channels for Benjamin Franklin to get his product, his services out to a mass population without having to be in every single colony, every single area at the same time. He ended up expanding it to multiple units. He had a franchisee in New York. He had one in Antigua. He had one in Rhode Island, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And actually had multiple, 3 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and he had Thomas Fleet up here in Boston, Mass., which published the Boston Evening Post. So in franchising itself, it can really go back as long as you can imagine, even into antiquity. And it's quite honestly because franchising has always been a business strategy. People have always wanted to scale their business. They've always had a desire to grow it, but they still want to remain in control. And then there's a limit on the human and financial capital that you can attribute, that you can use to grow that business. So that's when you need investors. You need boots on the ground. You need people who can contribute capital. You need people who can contribute human capital as well too to do the work, in order to overcome that obstacle of distributing things across long distances and creating experiences across long distances. And that's why, like I said, we could even attribute franchising back to the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, and you can see McDonald's here, basically in the McGyro burger in ancient Greece, in Athens. But it wasn't until about a little bit after World War I where we saw franchises as we know them today really start to evolve. In 1923, Roy Allen and Frank Wright opened the first A&W drive-in restaurant. They created a large network of the nation's first system of franchise roadside restaurants, and that brand is still around today and has evolved. White Castle, obviously a big one in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas. Billy Ingram and Walter Anderson opened their first White Castle, and now that's quickly become a household name. And then other legendary franchise chains like McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Carvel, Dairy Queen, Dunkin' Donuts, Burger King, IHOP, those all came in the 40s and the 50s after World War II. And that's when you really saw this franchising phenomena start to explode. Now today, franchising has morphed into a whole new animal. Over 3,100 brands. There's one every single day, one new company coming into the game every single day, across 80 different industries. We have franchises in the sign space, in the disaster restoration space, in the painting space, in the home cleaning industry, in the senior care industry, home care industry, tutoring, lawn care, pet care, of course, quick service food across multiple different industries, handyman services, kitchen remodeling, really anything you can think of. The strategy of franchising can be applied to that business as long as it has good, repeatable systems. And and that's what really franchising has taken on. It's become this. It's kind of morphed into this huge strategy that's taking the customer experience and putting an emphasis on that. And people are really flocking to it at an alarming rate. And so now, we're really in the era of the franchise. This is the prime time, great time to get involved in franchising. It's really because of the altruistic part of franchising, in my opinion, too, where it's people helping people in business. And there's a great story that a friend of mine, his name is Frank Agan, who actually also is a franchisor of a great brand called Amp Spirit Business Connections. He told me once, and I'm going to share that with you. So over 100 years ago, when we came and settled this country, we were essentially a country of farmers. People worked on the farm, they had their trade, they were a miller, they were a farmer, they were a baker. And then one day, as the population grew, cities started popping up, and there was factories began to grow, and there was concentrated population. And the farmer's son woke up one day and he looked at his dad and he said, "Dad, you know what? I'm not going to be a farmer like you. I'm going to move to the city and I'm going to work in one of those factories." And the dad said, "You know what, son? You're crazy, but go ahead." And so the son went into the city and he worked at the factory, got a job. He worked hard. He worked at the same company for a long time, grew up, had a son. And everyone became factory workers in that family. For generations, everyone were factory workers, and we produced a lot of things here in the country. But then things morphed again, and all those jobs kind of got outsourced and shipped overseas, and we moved into big business investment firms and banking, and lots of other non-production type businesses. And the son of the factory worker woke up one day and said, "Dad, I'm not going to work in a factory like you. I'm going to go get a job and work as a banker on Wall Street." And he said, "You know what, son, you're crazy, but go ahead and do it." And that son went there and he got a job at a big Fortune 500 company, a big corporation, and made lots of money and worked for 30 years and had a pension and took retirement. And he had a son. And his son quickly realized when he grew up that those jobs that his dad had working for a big corporation where you had guaranteed pension coming to you after a certain amount of years in the business, they weren't there anymore. And there was corporate layoffs and downsizing and outsourcing and all sorts of things that made it difficult to follow that same path. And so that son woke up one day and he said, "Dad, you know what? I'm not going to go get a job in corporate America like you. I'm going to own my own business. And in fact, I'm going to start a franchise." And so, that's really where we are today. There's a whole different piece of entrepreneurship out there. This gig economy in our space, where people are looking to help each other in business and grow together and really grow something big. And I think it's something powerful and something special that I'm glad to be a part of. So if you're someone who also wants to be a part of this wave, let's talk about some franchise opportunities. Definitely feel free to reach out to me. My cell phone is 978-891-7145. That's definitely the best way to reach me, either by call or text. You can also email me, Brandon@globalfranchisesolutions.com. And please stay tuned. We're not done with this course yet. We had a little bit of fun today, but we're going to get back to the business tomorrow and talking about what is a franchise consultant. So what do I do? How can I add value to your search for a franchise business? And how can we potentially work together? So again, thanks a lot for your time, and I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.